Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Rose Writes and I write and narrate Miraculous Ladybug fanfiction. Happy holidays! Big shout out to Bumble Lily on Instagram for this beautiful commissioned art. She's amazing, so be sure to check her out down below. Now then, please enjoy the best Christmas gift. The Dupeng household radiated with love as it did each holiday season. Different mouth-watering smells wafted through each floor as Tom and Sabine prepared their traditional Christmas breakfast. Each member of the family donned adorable sweaters Marinette crafted just for the occasion. Marinette hurriedly dressed the table in the upstairs apartment with a red tablecloth along with other festive decor. Okay, perfect, she thought, looking back and forth, taking in the entire scene. Her eyes landed on the Christmas tree brightly lit, which stretched to the ceiling. She fluffed branches upon branches, straightening each ornament so they faced forward. Marinette took the time to snicker at an ornament she had made in her 3D printer. It was an ornament shaped like a baguette that had their family name, Dupeng, engraved on the side. This never ceased to amuse her, as Dupeng literally meant of bread. As she appreciated her handiwork, the doorbell rang, which resonated through the building. "I'll get it!" she yelled to the empty apartment. She swiftly and fairly ungracefully ricocheted down the stairs, continuously chanting, "I'll get it! I'll get it!" Marinette flew off the stairs, bursting through the bakery doors, tripping and running directly into the front door. The clumsy girl rubbed her forehead before opening the door to find her boyfriend trying to hold back from laughing. "Good morning, Marinette. Merry Christmas. Graceful as ever, huh?" Adrien placed a gentle kiss on her forehead where a red mark was left by the impact of the door. "You know me," she said with embarrassment as Adrien passed her, placing a fluffy jacket on the coat rack. "Merry Christmas, Mr. Dupeng and Mrs. Chang." Adrien greeted Marinette's parents with a slight bow. Tom took a few steps towards the boy, towering over him, looking intimidating as his large stature blocked out the overhead light. "Son, you've been dating my daughter for a few years now." Mr. Dupeng started sternly. Adrien gulped down his sudden fear. "Call me Dad!" Tom took the boy in a vice-grip hug. "Wow, thank you, Mr. Dad," Adrien said through gritted teeth as he struggled to catch his breath. "Papa!" Marinette pulled on her father's sweater. "Let him go." "Sorry about that, son," Tom said, releasing the red-faced teen. "I guess I don't know my own strength." He flexed, which looked less menacing in his baby blue Christmas sweater. Marinette gave herself a facepalm. Even as embarrassing as he could be, she would miss these interactions with her father when she went off to college in the fall. "Breakfast is ready. Marinette, Adrien, be dears and carry these few plates for me." Sabine gestured to some covered dishes placed on the counter, gathering a plate of croissants in her own arms. "Oh, and Marinette?" "Oui, maman?" Marinette turned before exiting the double doors, nearly toppling over. "Be careful, love." Sabine giggled as she left to go upstairs. "Oh, oui, maman." Upon setting the tables with decorative dishes, Adrien sat down next to his girlfriend and wrapped an arm around her shoulders, giving a squeeze. "Thank you for having me. I honestly can't remember the last time I had a meal with my family. I consider you all to be my family anyways." Adrien spoke as Mrs. Chang doled out slices of quiche. "Of course, Adrien. Marinette loves you, and so do we. You're always welcome." Adrien's smile spread from ear to ear. He had never felt so accepted. His father wouldn't accept him, especially if he told him that his beloved son was Cat Noir. Mr. Agreste would know that he had been sneaking out of the house to fight villains every day, or occasionally bailing on fencing practice. What would he think? How would he react? Gabriel would probably disown him. Adrien shuddered at the thought. But Marinette. He could tell Marinette. When the time was right, of course, and she'd still love him, without a doubt. The table filled with conversation and laughter, and all Adrien could think about was how this is what home should feel like. After they had all eaten their fill, there was a lull. Marinette looked at the faces of her parents and Adrien, clasping her hands together with the joy of a child seeing toys left by Santa. "Oh, presents! I got you something, Adrien!" She shot out of her seat, scampering upstairs. For a small girl, her feet fell forcefully on the wooden floor, creating a lot of noise as she got whatever it was. When he returned, he held a large box beautifully wrapped in Christmas tree paper, but with holes poked in the wrapping paper. What? Weird. He walked carefully as a band member marching heel to toe. She sat crisscrossed on the floor, patting the spot beside her. "Adrien," she sang, "I've got something for you." Marinette could hardly contain her excitement. Her love language was definitely gift-giving, which was why she always created gifts for holidays and special occasions. She would much rather give than receive. Seeing the look on people's faces after opening a present is the best feeling in the world. And boy, would Adrien love this. He sat on their rug beside the Christmas tree, hugging his knees to his chest. He stared at the large box. There are holes. He tilted his head to the side in confusion, looking at the box from all angles. "Well, obviously," Marinette giggled. "But what is it? You'll have to open it to find out." Her tone was even more high-pitched than usual as she handed him the mysterious present. He smiled, taking it from her hands. He grabbed one end of the red ribbon, it coming undone. But then his eyes shifted to look at Marinette skeptically. "I swear to God, if this is a tarantula, Don't be such a baby. It's not a spider. Will you just open it? Or I'll open it for you." She teased, but he didn't buy it. Sure, she didn't care for creatures with more than 4 legs either, but if it meant she could prank him, she might see the opportunity as worth it. "It better not be a snake either." No, of course not. She waved a hand dismissively. "The pet store was all out of snakes." "Marinette!" Adrien groaned. Her parents looked on in amusement, managing to snap plenty of pictures for their photo album. Then something rustled in the unopened box. Okay, so she did get him something alive. "I think your present is getting restless," she started. "Here, let me help." Together they pulled at the wrapping paper, revealing a small metal cage. Adrien sat it on the floor in front of him, peering in. Looking up at him with so much curiosity was a small hamster with blonde fur that was nearly the same shade as Adrien's hair. "Marinette, he's so cute, and you got him for me?" "Of course. I love hamsters, and I know you do too, and I thought you could use an extra friend to keep you company." Marinette smiled at her boyfriend, reaching a hand in the cage to scratch the hamster's fluffy cheeks. "Wow, thank you so much. I love him," Adrien exclaimed, sticking his hand in the front of the cage to pick him up. Adrien took a dried apple chip from the bowl to feed the hamster, feeling his whiskers tickle Adrien's fingers. "What are you going to name him?" Marinette said, stroking the small creature's head. "I'm going to name him... wow. I always thought I'd know what to name my hamster when I got one, but I'm clueless. We should pick a name together." "I would love that." Marinette took the hamster from Adrien, allowing him to sit on her shoulder. Adrien let out a small chuckle before remembering that he also had a present for her. Was now the right time? Should he wait until later or just do it? His heart rate climbed as he patted his pocket, which contained a small box. "Are you okay, Adrien? You just got really quiet." Marinette scooped up the nameless animal into her hands from her shoulders, petting his back. "Me? Sure, fine. I wanted to give you your present." Adrien pulled Marinette to her feet, placing his new friend in the cage. "Oh, really? Okay." She held out her hands. "Actually, close your eyes." She did as she was asked, a small smile displayed on her face. This was it. He took the small velvet box out of his pajama pocket, turning it over in his hands. He opened it for a moment to stare at the sparkling diamond ring blinking back at him. This was all he had ever wanted. He glanced around the room, and her parents were nowhere to be seen, probably tending to matters in the bakery. Adrien shut the box delicately, staring at the love of his life who held her eyes shut, shuffling a bit. He took in one last breath before getting on one knee in front of Marinette. She looked beautiful in the tree light. He wanted to take in this moment and remember this for the rest of his life. "Adrien, what are you—" "Open your eyes," Adrien interrupted. And what she found sent tears immediately to her eyes. Her hands flew to her face. "Really? Is this happening? Wait, are you pranking me?" "What are you— No, I wouldn't prank you," he chuckled. Well, not like this, at least. Marinette, I love you. These past few years with you have been amazing, and I want this feeling for the rest of my life, so... He opened the blue velvet box, revealing a dainty rose gold ring inside. Will you do me the greatest honor and marry me? She stared at Adrien in stunned silence. The hesitation did nothing to soothe his nerves. She stammered. Sorry, yes, I just wasn't expecting it, and So, is that a yes? He asked, tentatively taking the ring out of its slot. Yes, of course I'll marry you. She stuck out her petite hand. He placed it on her ring finger, and if possible, it shined even brighter. Adrien kissed her hand, thinking soon he'd wake up and this would all be a dream. But it wasn't. He was engaged to the most beautiful, perfect girl in the entire world. Adrien took his new fiancée in his embrace, kissing her tenderly before hearing Sabine walking up the stairs. Kids, guess what? It's snowing! Marinette's eyes lit up, and Adrien knew she desperately wanted to go outside and play. That's one of the many things he loved about her. She was truly a child at heart. But before they could go play... Guess what else, Mama? I'm engaged! She said, not waiting for a response, thrusting out her hand with the princess-cut diamond. Oh my goodness. She took her daughter's hand, gushing over the ring and wedding plans, asking Marinette questions she didn't have answers to yet. Tom bolted upstairs at the commotion to congratulate the happy couple. Tom approached Adrien with a single tear in his eyes, which he quickly blotted away with a handkerchief. Take care of my little girl, son. Papa, Marinette said in protest. Of course, sir, Adrien said, kissing her knuckles. She's my princess. This answer seemed to please Mr. Dupin as he wrapped them in a bear hug. For the first time in Adrien's life, he felt at peace. This was his true family. Holding her hands, he felt so much love for Marinette, his future wife. He felt love for his future in-laws. Also for his new little hamster, the first addition to their family, named, well, he still didn't know yet. Everything was finally perfect. This was the best Christmas Adrien had ever experienced, and this time spent with those he loved and who loved him was the best Christmas gift of all. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you enjoyed this little bit of Christmas fluff, and may your holidays be miraculous.